Happy Friday, Vendasta, and welcome to All Hands and Product Showcase for September 26th. Please put your hands together for your host today, Brendan King.
I have salad in my teeth, I think. Does that work? All right. Hopefully, the bright lights, nobody can see anything stuck in my teeth. All right, welcome, September 26th. It's like it's a little windy this morning, but have we had a great September or what? It's been fantastic. I think it was warmer in September than it was in all of summer. All right, let's get into it. So today we've got new hires, anniversary, same as always, 3 new Vendastians joining the team. Looking forward to seeing that. I think we got some here. Anniversaries. We got 1 Vendastian with a new role, 2 kudos, and some customer love. And then I'm going to do a really short presentation, just talk about what we did in India this last week and their year-end party. Then Brian's going to do most of it. He's going to talk about 2026 and beyond with a little bit of a presentation that he did when he was in New York. And then David's going to wrap up with the social committee report. All right, new hires. So we've got Frandressa Ravigino, enablement specialist in Saskatoon, and I have butchered your name, Frandressa, so we're going to get you up here and you're going to help me to say it better. Chanika Takar, account manager 1, it's in Canada remote, and Balana Jean Mill, paid media specialist in Chennai. So it looks like Frandressa and Chakina will be coming on up at next week's All Hands. You're not ready to go now? Kenya, do you want to? Are you serious? Well, let's go. This is going to make somebody else separate. I love it. I love it. So you're going to tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, how you got here, what you've done before, and then you're ready to sing a song, eh? This is awesome.
Hi, everybody. So my name is Fan Dresena, but you can call me Fan. That's simpler for everybody. I'm originally from Madagascar, so like very, very far away. If you know anybody from Madagascar in Saskatchewan, let me know, because I think I'm the only one here. What else? I lived in France for a couple of years, and I came from France to Canada. That's it. Then
So what are you going to sing for us?
I'm going to sing a little song. It's very simple. I will need everybody's help, if that's okay. So when I say... what's the song already? When I say, hey, you guys say, hey, okay? When I say, hey, and you say, hey. When I say, hi, and you say, hi, okay? Okay. Beautiful girl, I love her to work. I could be chasing, but my time will be wasted. They got nothing on you, baby. Nothing on you, baby. Okay, get ready. They might say hi, and I might say hey. But you shouldn't worry about what they say, 'cause they got nothing on you, baby. Nothing on you.
Well, that was awesome. That was great. I love those songs where we have to participate with a hey and a hi. All right. And you probably left poor Chanika out on her own next week. So, hey, maybe you might want to get up there again. No one would complain. That was awesome singing. Okay, on to the next one. Anniversaries. What do we have? We've got Siva and Craig as of 1 year. All right. I met with both of these guys in Chennai. Wonderful folks. Diva and Gokul, also 1 year. And 3 years, we got Satish. And 6 years, we got Haneri and Rodrigo. Are you guys up here? Stand up and take a bow. 6 years, that's fantastic. No, not up here? Oh, come on. All right. 9 years, we have Ginger. Wow, 9 years, that's a long one. Thank you, Ginger. Okay, movers and shakers. Derek is moving and shaking from Business Development Rep 1 to Business Development Rep 1. Awesome. And kudos, what do we have? So as you know, the kudos are based on one of our 16 leadership principles. Let's see what we got. So Emily Howe's getting a customer accession kudo from Megan Martin. I've never been able to fully put into words how much we appreciate Emily. Calling her a rock star or superhero doesn't really do her justice. She's always there to answer questions, build reports, and step in to fix things when those reports inevitably break. Come on, she makes better reports than that. Her support makes a big difference in helping the small agency team stay on track. Without Emily's consistency and expertise, we'd be flying blind. And when it comes to understanding our quota attainment and performance, she ensures we have the visibility we need to do our jobs effectively and does it with the patience and professionalism that makes her a true partner to the team. I can attest to that too. Thank you, Emily. All right. Biswa has an enablement consultant in India. He's got one for ownership. Biswa has been the backbone of the high-velocity team for the past 4 years. His extensive product knowledge and dedication to the customer-focused approach have been instrumental in mentoring his peers and elevating the team to its current level of excellence. His hard work has not gone unnoticed. In the time with the team, he has earned the utmost respect from his colleagues for his contributions and for the way he's coached and mentored the team. We're glad to see him move up to the vertical team, and we're confident he will continue to excel. Congratulations, Biswa. All right, some customer love. What do we got? To the support team from Wendy at ICU Agency. Life hands us all unexpected circumstances. I'm so happy and proud to be affiliated with this fantastic company because it has shown a very human component to a tragic situation for my client. Thank you for your efforts and your compassionate understanding of this matter. You have truly shown your human heart that works behind the Vendasta label. May you all be blessed and prosperous. There's a good story there. All right, from Josie at Neighborly. This is via Mosquito Joe. So this is cool because, as somebody's put here, the AI is actually doing a good job of faking empathy, but it's not, you know. So the question, what it says is, I'm so sorry to cancel, but I just got diagnosed with congestive heart failure, and my medications are very expensive, and I had to make some cuts to the monthly budget, obviously, to afford $2,000 a month in medications. I hope to get the service back next summer if I can afford it. Thank you for the wonderful service. And the AI says, Yvonne, I'm truly sorry to hear about your diagnosis, and please don't worry about canceling your service. We completely understand that your health comes first. Thank you for your kind words. We're grateful to have had you as a customer. If things change in the future, we'd be happy to welcome you back. Wishing you strength and all the best in your treatment. If you need anything, just let us know. And she says that's truly heartfelt. God bless you. So it's important that our image across the board for our customers also comes through. Events. We've got some upcoming events on the 26th. That's today. Special happy hour. We got s'more cootery on 16. I've been anxious to find out exactly what this means. Robin was trying to explain it to me, but I'll see you up there. It sounds pretty exciting. I think it's melted cheese on meats, and it sounds pretty freaking good. What could be? What? Oh, there's a slide at the end. Oh, I think you put that the one where you put an AI me on there? No, I hope not. Okay, September 30th, National Day of Truth and Reconciliation is coming up, so wear your own shirts and you get your house points. October 1st, Halloween floor decorating contest. Oh, that could be fun. Some details coming soon. Now, I've seen some of the stuff we did in the past with Halloween. This is pretty over the top. Also on October 1st, it is a stat holiday in India. October 2nd is another stat holiday, so they got them two in a row. And then on October 3rd, that's Ideas on Tap, and that's when AI gets real. And I look to hopefully to see everybody there. We're going to pack this place. I think sales is putting it on, and it sounds like it's going to be pretty exciting. All right, L&D opportunities, as always. So for the week of the 29th to the 3rd, we've on the 29th, we're going to have the options exchange. This is a good chance for me to put a plug in for Brian. You should get these things signed. If you don't get them signed, you're just going to pay more for options than everybody else, and you don't want that. Brian's happy to answer any questions, but you know, there's nothing to say. There's only upside on this one. So if you haven't signed, I don't know why, but you should. Otherwise, you just pay more. September 30th, Training Tuesday, Partner Center Setup, hosted by Nathan and Haley and Allie. So if you want to understand what your partners see, that's a great one to attend. Bringing the Brand to Life, Lunch and Learn and Vendasta Brand Guide. Jillian and Nikia are going to host that. Awesome. And then October 1st is Workflow Wednesdays, Wednesdays as always, by the Alistair George, who loves workflows and Wednesdays. Maybe. Okay, so I'm just going to do a really quick update on the India team visit. So we went to India. I was there, Sandy was there, Jean was there, Mark and Sally turned out to be there too. So we, and it was the India year-end party. We're there for lots of different reasons. We're talking about our guiding principles, of which India is really embracing, and maybe we'll have further presentation on that. And they're really embracing AI in a big way, so it's really nice to see. But they did have their party, and so I had a few pictures. They had a wonderful party outside. They had drones and photographers, and it's quite the show. It was beach party kind of party. This is a setup. This is just people just arriving. Of course, we're there early. This was after, this was all of our R&D team was taking a picture, and I just took a picture of them taking a picture, and then there was always sort of some fun party stuff, and so people were partaking in it, and it went late into the night. It was good and fun. With that, I'm going to turn you over to a wonderful presenter. And Brian, you did this is part of the presentation you did in New York.
Correct.
For some of our partners there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, it's all yours.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, as Brendan mentioned, a crew of us were down in New York to meet with some partners last few days. There'll be an update on that on a future all hands, so I'll leave that to the sales crew to do that. But it was an awesome time. Always really valuable to hear from our partners and connect and build bonds there. But I'll leave it to those guys to tell that story. Before I dive into this presentation, a couple of things. One is it was really, really nice to see the Chennai holiday party, mostly because it was the only party, I think, ever where there was essentially Brendan wasn't wearing the loudest shirt. So there was that. I think the second aspect of that is I really enjoyed, the fact that Fan got a new fan today. So excellent singing earlier. Thank you for that. All right, let's dive in a little bit here. We're talking a little bit about 2026 and beyond. As many of you know, we've started strategy and 2026 planning here at Vendasta. This is not necessarily to go into our 2026 strategies just yet. A lot of that is really getting dialed in across different departments, across from a company level. We'll communicate on that later. But just a moment as we move into Q4 here to look back on our strategies that we had placed in for this year. And so nothing new here. Build the infrastructure to launch the AI employees. Yep, moving along on that one. Automate the customer journey. I'm starting to see the customer journey slide come up in more presentations. The different areas and touch points that we have. Missed call, text back. Voice just getting launched. All kinds of exciting new things happening there. We'll continue to move forward on that one. And then leverage AI to improve customer experience and drive efficiency. This one's been interesting. I think any team in the whole organization could rewind time 1 year ago and think about how you adopted AI as a team and how it's affected your methodology. And all of us, from our knowledge of this space, how we've utilized these tools, how we've implemented these tools into our product, have all advanced. So I see all of these strategies moving along forward. Now, in general idea of moving forward, even though we're not necessarily going to present on 2026 strategies today, you can actively expect that they'll just be an extension of a lot of the energy and momentum that we've built up over this last year. So if we look at the first one, you can imagine if when we're at a point where we're talking about 2026 strategies, if this year was build the infrastructure to launch AI employees, then next year, we're going to get to that point where we actually just launch that AI workforce, right? It's an extension, it's a continuation of that energy, building up on the infrastructure that we've put into place and continue to put into place. So with that, I'm starting to get ahead of this and start to speak to some of the thought, strategy, and ideation behind some of the AIs as they start to get launched. And so many of you know what this stack looks like. This certainly is not limited to everything that we can launch. And of course, there's the custom AI employee creation aspect that can get it added into here, as there is the platform assistance. But these 6 make up a pretty good talk track. Today, I'm just going to shorten down the presentation that I gave in New York, and we're just going to look at the first 2. the content creator and the search specialist, what's happening in terms of technological advancements, what's happening in terms of consumer behavior change, and how these AIs need to start to consider that to provide real value as we move forward. So, as we dive in, let's have a look at the first one. On the left, the content creator. So the interesting thing when we talk about building content is if we just building content for content's sake, just building more noise, this is not necessarily the intent here. The generative aspects of AI, while impressive, is not enough in isolation. We need to be thinking about a content creator that's actually building content that gets found. So the interesting aspect of the content creator is that the story actually starts with search. So if you look at what was trending earlier this year in search, I was just inundated with a bunch of these articles that people were talking about, whoa, for the first time in a decade, Google's search engine dominance finally dropped below 90%. But a lot of these articles, like this one in particular, were actually shining a light on this idea that was like shaken by ChatGPT. You know, Google's search falls below 90% for the first time. The interesting thing about an article like this is if you actually go to the source of the data, what you'll find is something that looks like this. Search engine market share, Google, now currently at 89.9%. So yes, it's true that they've fallen below 90% market share in search engines. So when you look at the other companies that are listed here, ChatGPT, OpenAI isn't even listed. So people are drawing conclusions on this data. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's wrong. That doesn't necessarily mean that people are shifting towards using conversational AI tools. It just means that the data here actually means that Bing moved up a couple of marginal percentage points. The more interesting area to look at this data in terms of search is not search engines itself. It's a little bit limiting. It's in all of the different types of platforms in which we can look at search and where the most search is actually being conducted. So this data dropped earlier this year at Web Summit. And what you can see here is just within one day, how many billions of searches happen across all the world's top platforms, okay? So you still see Google at the top, but we're not talking about 89.9% in this regard. We're talking about 27% market share of daily search. That's not including the fact that Google also owns the Play Store down in this corner here. So the interesting thing about this data and where those articles still ring true is when you start to categorize this data in this way. Search engines, social media, AI chat, and marketplaces. So yes, you still see search engines dominating the top of the charts, but there is a massive amount of yellow that is clustered just below that. And that is essentially the social search aspect. And so social search now contributes just as much as search engine search when we look at how much searches are just being conducted daily. So when we think about something like a content creator, we have to first understand that we need to do this in alignment with consumer behavior change, which has shifted to social search. It's not just about getting something that can get put into the algorithm while somebody's doom scrolling. This is actually formatting that information so that it can get found on social platforms, okay? And so there's ways that you can do this. Now, this is happening across every single major social media engine, and I would actually add Reddit to this list as well. Tons and tons of search happening in that space. But one that I hear about more and more and more is TikTok, right? And so, people using TikTok as a search engine, the rise of TikTok. Now, TikTok is a very, very popular area where I think they're at about 1.6 billion users around the world. So when we talk about ChatGPT getting up to 1 billion users, they're still bigger in terms of a user base. It's just the sort of meteoric rise in terms of how fast ChatGPT is gathering users. Now, when we look at this, there's a huge difference when we talk about social search from traditional search engine search. So, as I mentioned, we were in New York, and one of the first searches I did when I found out I was going to New York was the best cocktails in Manhattan, because after a long flight, there's nothing better than just sitting, putting the feet up for a minute, and having, a cocktail with friends and just, the flight's over. Now, show of hands. If you were dropping down in a city like New York, and you were thinking, it would be fun to kind of drop the bags off at the hotel, sit down, have a drink, maybe find some food. How many people in this room right now would default to the search on the left, the traditional search engine search? Let me see a show of hands. Okay. How many people would jump into something like TikTok or another social media site and look at it that way? Interesting, interesting. So what we're probably going to find here in the room is the people that put their hand up for social are actually the funky, fresh, young ones amongst us. And those that would go more the traditional, it's like, oh, I remember when the internet came out, And so there is a generational change here. Now, for me, I'm considered an elder millennial. I'm like right at the end of this nugget here, somewhere between the Gen X and millennial. But because I am also funky fresh, I tend to be more here on the social side. And so there's a lot of reasons why people would do this. But mostly what it is this storytelling aspect, the personalization of the content. You're getting in where these things are little digestible bits. There's a difference between saying, oh, 4.7 review, 3 blocks away, open now, interesting. Or somebody actually, as a creator, taking a quick walk through the couple of cocktail bars and showing you the ambiance. Very different way to consume information and make your choice. Both searches are important, and both are trending right now, and there's a huge behavior change in the way the world works. So as we move forward and we think about building out this AI content creator, this is not about noise. This is not about AI slop. This is not about content for content's sake. It's about helping small businesses get found in search, creating content that's enticing, or helping them with the ideation and strategy around building content that's enticing, right? And so this is an underlying aspect we want to keep in mind. Just generating content, essentially anyone with a paid licensed AI can do this. This is where we differentiate. This is where we can really help businesses thrive. Moving on to the second one here. We're just talking about search. Well, what about the actual search specialist? Well, we can actually go back to this same set of data and look over on this other side here. And there's a reason why I put search engines and this AI chat together. And that is because the line between these things is becoming increasingly blurry, right? Well, what's a search engine versus AI chat? So to showcase this, what we might start with is a traditional search engine like Google with an AI overview, and then sort of evolve into the idea of Google's AI mode, which is shockingly similar in terms of how you're going to interact with this thing to ChatGPT. Conversational AI. Now, even Perplexity launched their entire web browser, Comet, just a little while ago, and have had access to that. And again, very much the same thing. And so there is just a shift in terms of how we use a browser to find information. So this is not about Google versus OpenAI. This is more about another consumer behavior change and a shift to conversational AI in order to find information. And I think we've all experienced this here at Vendasta, and many, many, many consumers, and increasing every single day is the way that they're doing that too. So when we look at this, the amount of information, we'll use the cocktail bar as an example, top-rated businesses, where they're located, even down to reservation options, expected costs, and even etiquette or helpful tips if you're going there. The amount of information that you can receive from one of those conversational dialogues and the amount of websites you actually need to click on is zero, right? And so what's happening now on the business side is they're saying, well, my traffic's starting to go down, but that doesn't necessarily mean my content's bad. That doesn't necessarily mean that, that's the end of the world, but I need to adapt and I need to change, and we can help them do that. This is a phenomenon called zero-click search. I think most of us at this point are aware of it. It's where you go in, again, get those generative answers. I don't need to click on a website in order to get a lot of information, even if the information itself derived and was taken from that website. So this is something that's on the rise. I've presented on this before, but back in 2019, zero-click search was about 50%. Most of that was some of the traditional aspects that Google would surface, things like the knowledge panel or the direct answer box. And today it's these culprits here. It's the AI overviews and the AI-generated responses that are causing this increasing spike in the idea that more and more people can get what they're looking for without clicking on a website. So this is where, again, we'll continue to flip around on terms. Currently, I'm sitting on AEO. Before it was GEO. At some point, I might come up here again and present on something else. There's AI search, there's AIO. There's so many terms around this floating around right now that at some point in the industry is just going to lock on one. I'm going to go with answer engine optimization at this point in time. I think the thought leaders in the space are going this way, but not all of them. So, what we're really getting at here also, when we think about optimizing for both search, traditional search, and for answer engine optimization, that it's not just a one and done. Every single one of these LLMs actually utilizes different ways of what sites they look for when they're extracting information. So there's slight nuances if you want to say perform well in ChatGPT versus Perplexity or Grok or wherever you happen to do your search, or even the Google's AI Mode or AI Overviews. But you see some common trends here, and maybe in a future presentation we can dive into some of the logic for how this is working. There's a ton of things that businesses can do, but generally you have to do it business by business. Some type of audit to understand how they're performing and what are the top things they should do to help perform good in traditional search and help perform good over here in answer engine optimization. These are just a few. You'll also notice that there's a bunch of stuff even on this list that you would also do if you were optimizing SEO. So there is no like, oh, you do this stuff for SEO and you do this stuff. Now, of course, you know, with SEO, it's a lot of keywords and backlinks. With AEO, it's more about optimizing content for digestibility by these AI engines. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a ton of overlap there, and it's really about extending your SEO strategy. So when we think about the AI search specialist, what we really are looking here is not only the idea of boosting visibility in those search engines. This is still important. SERP is still important. But also making sure that business can be referenced and found in AI-generated results with both SEO and AEO. And there is a ton of interest in this in the market right now in all of the areas of our AI employees. I feel like there is something really great we can do here. This is going to be an awesome one to take out to market. There's a big talk of the town in a bunch of conferences. A lot of businesses are seeing that drop in terms of search. And we'll, when I get into future bits, we'll talk about also that just because maybe a business has a drop in search doesn't necessarily mean they have a drop in transactions. We're also leading to a market where that commercial intent of the buyer is higher. I've done all my research. I've done all the things that happen in the top of funnel earlier. By the time I hit a website, I'm basically ready to buy. So while the traffic is down, the amount of transactions can remain the same. But I'll get to that in a future presentation. So that was the first two, the content creator and the search specialist. There's a lot of exciting areas and thought leadership for us to communicate about over the course of 2026, and of course leading into the end of this year as well. Next time I come up, I'm going to talk about the receptionist. Of course, this is one that's available now, but we're not done there. There's lots of area there that there's room to grow. I'll speak to some of the things that are happening in terms of technological advancements, stuff that team will be definitely have on the forefront of development. As we'll talk about the reputation specialist and some of the things that are happening in the post-purchase engagement aspect. So that will be next time. With that, I will say thank you for this round, and then I believe we have a social committee update about some kind of s'morey stuff or something. Or, oh, maybe a social committee update first, and then we'll maybe reiterate s'mores. Okay, yep, perfect, that works. Thank you, everybody.
Hello. How's everybody doing? Excellent. Good. Is there a presentation? There is a presentation. Hello, everybody. I am F. David Schultz of our social committee. If Nakia is around, we have the new 2025 corporate deck. Let me know if I've used it appropriately. Spoiler alert. All right. That's me, F. David Schultz of the Porcelain Throne of our social committee. This is our amazing crew. I'll give a second for everyone to look at some of those great photos, particularly Kaz, who I believe is a J-pop superstar that we were unaware of.
So we have a few different things going on, and I wanted to let everybody know about them. First off, we have our Halloween floor decorating contest happening here at Saskatoon HQ. So here's some inspiration, just springing out from the last year. So just so you're aware, these are based on the floors here at Saskatoon HQ. This has nothing to do with our house points or anything like that. This is just for a whole bunch of fun and some goodies. There will be a sheet that's going to be shared next week in the announcements channel. And then on October 1st, you'll be able to get some goodies from Anissa's desk to help you to set up your floor. There's going to be a $100 budget for each floor that you can get access to as well. Make sure that you fill out that form. And then on October 29th at 12 p.m., Judgment Day. So that will be a whole lot of fun, followed by a spooky happy hour for the winning house on the Friday. So, or not house, winning floor. You know me, I have one-track brain for the house cup. So really fun opportunity, 14th floor, closing day. If you're the spookiest, you get a party on your floor, or you have to move to a different floor when 13 crushes you once again. You'll be judged on creativity, spookiness, theme, consistency, attention to detail, and overall presentation. Next, the holiday party! Oh, sorry, everybody online. I tried moving the mic away. I don't know if that helped. It probably didn't. But we have the holiday party coming. We got to see all of those great pictures from the Chennai office, and there's going to be lots of fun, and we want you to save the date. We've been thinking about what are we doing, and you have Brendan Danger King, who has said, "I always love the annual holiday party, but it feels too jolly holly holiday for me. Where's the badass vibes? Where I want to see Santa slay dark eyeliner. I want to hear hell's bells, not jingle bells." Bring the Christmas frights, not the Christmas lights. That's probably what Brendan said. And so we are introducing the black tie Nightmare Before Christmas. We figure, hey, we're getting into October. Our holiday party is going to be in November. Let's just keep the vibes going. So this is going to be our dress code, some gothic holiday glam. Bring out your black ties, your black dresses. Have a whole lot of fun with this. Be as stylish and wonderful as you wish. And I'm going to sort of break it down with the timeline for you here. As soon as I got onto this slide, I felt a lot more like I was Brian Larson giving a presentation, because this really elevates the kind of presenting and visuals we've had for the social committee. So today, right now, we have announced the holiday party and the theme for here in Saskatoon. Boca is going to have their own celebration with details forthcoming for that office. And Chennai has already had their party. Some great photos there. Also today, an RSVP is going to be sent out. Please, RSVP ASAP. Thank you. In October, there will be a mystery reveal. What will it be? Only time will tell. And then on November 7th, your RSVPs are due. No RSVP, no party. That is how it works. And on the 21st, we are going to have an absolute blast. It is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be at Louis once again, same venue as last year. We're going to have the awards ceremony. We're going to have lots and lots of fun. There will be a page up on the front step that will have all of the details handy for you. All right, and now for a House Cup update. Please prepare yourselves. So for those who don't, I did a voice, but actually I had a thing before the actual numbers. For anyone who does not know about the House Cup, we have some new hires. It's been a little while since the last presentation. We separate the entire company into 4 great houses: respect, innovation, agility, and drive. And this is how great they are in order, just so you all know, the greatest being listed first. Sorry, drive. And so each year we do all kinds of fun activities throughout the year to earn points, and the winner gets a trophy. There is literal trophy up on the 15th floor, and we stick the house winner onto it. So here's where we were beforehand. Actually, kind of like I was saying, almost in the right order there. Drive doing a little better than I would have expected, honestly. Agility doing about as well as I would have expected. And Respect dominating. You may applaud for that if you wish. Or boo me. You can boo me on that one too. Thank you. I got one boo. All right. Here's where the points stand after some exciting events in Chennai, where they performed a whole bunch of big, crazy sport competitions. It was a big sport day. They took the weekend and had an absolute blast, and they shattered everything. Look at that jump for innovation. There is nearly a 2,000-point spread between agility and innovation, which honestly, this is about where agility was last year at this time. So here's where the scores stand, but there are still plenty of ways to earn points. And we're going to be doing that with Quintuple Wednesday. That's right. There are 5 Wednesdays in October, and that means there's lots of opportunities to earn points. But some of these teams are doing really bad. We need to give, anyone who's not innovation as much of a chance as possible. So we thought, why do just a Quintuple Wednesday? Why not a Quintuple Queek? That's right, we have queeks of Quevents, everybody. So each week you can post on any day of the week on theme, and you will get 5 points. All right, you only for one time. If you post it every day of the week, it doesn't give you extra bonuses or anything like that. But we're going to have 5 exciting weeks, and to give you some inspiration, we have Orange Week. Obviously, we have the Truth and Reconciliation and the Orange Shirt Day on the 30th, and so a great opportunity to showcase that and earn points, and you can do that throughout the week to get points there. Sweet Treats the week after. Share some sweet treats that you have made, that you have enjoyed, whatever the case may be. Then, we want some cozy vibes, or some, Darth Vader vibes coming from Brendan Swalm over there, really working the hoodie. And then, there we go. For Diwali week, we have Diwali lights. Share photos that inspire light and all of the spirit of Diwali throughout the week. And then, of course, the last week of October will be a Halloween spooktacular. I absolutely encourage everyone who is dressing up on the 31st to share all of the photos of them in costume and get some sweet, sweet points out of it. So that's there's one more thing. I thought we needed to up the ante even more. And I was thinking back to when I first started with the social committee. And I thought, I've always wanted to introduce some sort of some fun puzzles, some fun games. And so that's why we've brought in the Quiztacular Wednesday to top everything off. So here's me 6 years ago. Just trying to think of some fun and different ideas, and it took me 6 years to percolate this crazy idea of having a whole bunch of puzzles each week. So every Wednesday there'll be a new puzzle shared. You solve it and answer it in your house channel, and the first house to get that answer correctly wins. And so then all points for that entire week for that house get quintupled. So suddenly, that Halloween costume you posted for 5 points, that actually gets you 25 points. And we'll see how things shake up at the end of October. And I thought, people might be like, quizzes, puzzles, David, what are you talking about? So I'm going to offer up a bonus round today, right now, for the first person who can go into their house channel and give me the answer to this question. And if you can answer this question, you get 100 points. And if you are if you're the first one to get this, and if you're agility, you get 500 points because you need it right now. All right. So that's the question. Kwabankum Ukanamum Zupilokanim Zix. Thanks, everybody.
All the answer right here. File and cheat and then have the answer. 1 second. Okay. Well, let's see who wins. Last time we made everybody play that game. Maybe we should do that again. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Today we have, should I just read the last 4 numbers? How about just the last 4 numbers? 819. Who's left? 6. Yeah.
Thank you.
Woohoo.
Finally, now you can shut up about it.
All right, I think that's that's AI me. Yeah, we're going to talk about this s'more thing at all or no? Hold on. There's more news.
Just in case. Oh, is this on? Oh, I can't hear myself. We're trying to just do a fun thing on the patio. It's gonna be potentially the last thing we do this year on the patio, so we'd love to see you. Brendan's gonna have a bunch of drinks out there, full bar basically. We're gonna do on 16, and then I think he is smoking some brisket for s'more-cootery. S'more-cootery is like a savory s'more, so it's gonna be like a bunch of like cheeses and crackers and spreads. So yeah, coming up. It's also the snack for today. It's not going to start till 2:30. It's going to get nice out, so we hope to see you there. Brendan wants to party.
All right. And by then, my GDP's, I decoded it. What? Do you guys want to know? Does everyone want to know what the answer is? I'll give you the question. It's deciphered now. It's what is Anissa's favorite food? I used a brute force Caesar cipher code breaker. Just saying. GTP5 did that for me. So I guess you still need to talk to Anissa.